received it, let us know, we'll order you one. But realistically, all that's on that card is your member ID number and the webpage. So we can get that to you while you wait for your new card. So, that being said, that is an example of, yep, that's perfect, yeah. So you're going to use, like I said, there's that little member ID on there. When you get on the first time, oh, I signed in. You need to register and then you'll be able to sign in. So, the reason we put this together is we noticed pretty quickly that we needed to help everybody get accustomed to the new system that we're working with in terms of meeting our STARS goal. And the ultimate goal, realistically, is getting from STARS 1 to STARS 2. And the way that we do that, on top of doing the basic requirements of, meeting with Heather and I and getting to the doctor and the dentist, and there's a health questionnaire on here. That kind of stuff those are the minimum requirements. We want to help you guys get from STARS 1 to STARS 2 because there's a pretty substantial savings potential if we get from STARS 1 to STARS 2.
Now, STARS 1 is now referred to as shooting stars.
Yep.
STARS 2 is now referred to as
all stars. So we're looking to get all you guys to all star level.
Yeah.
We do that now with this new system by you guys completing healthy activities, and you identify those activities by sending us this sheet at the end of every month. Has everyone in this room at least seen this sheet already? Yeah, cool. I know a lot of you have even filled this out already. But we want to kind of clarify how to fill this bad boy out. So what we did was, got you a copy of this as well as this sheet. What this is telling us is the different ways that we can get points. On the left-hand side, we got the TRC sponsored activities. Moving over, there's things that we can do from the Work Partners page itself, which is up here. We'll get to those next. And we're also potentially going to be getting points from our blood work, and we will touch on that last. But let's take a look at these TRC sponsored activities. These are things that we here at the agency have approved as healthy activities that are going to get us points, and the trick is letting us know what you guys are doing because we're like the official middlemen between TRC and Work Partners. So does everybody have a sheet? Cool. Let's just kind of go over some of these things to help clarify what these are. The first two, the NDPP and 6-week self-management courses. These are classes that Heather, Donna, and I became certified to teach. These are awesome, but for right now, kind of put these on the back burner. Put them in the back of our minds because we are trying to figure out when our next wave of classes are going to be for these. So this first one, it is a 12-month Prevent Type 2 Diabetes course, and the next one down, 6-week self-management on either pain management or disease management. Back burner, we'll get information out to you guys whenever we get information about that. Agency wellness challenges. Oh, I'm sorry, before we get too far into this, take a look at the points column. Anything that has the word each after the number of points, that's going to let you guys know that every time that you do one of these, you'll get points for it. If it doesn't have the word each after, it's a one-time annual credit. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next one down, agency wellness challenges. Heather's our guru here. She always gets information out through email and SCOM, and we try to get information out on the Facebook about any and all challenges that we got going on. Any of them that you guys participate in, you'll get points for. You'll just, identify on here what was, this last month was the Walsit Challenge?
Walsit Challenge?
Yeah, so if you participated in that, you'll go over to this sheet and just write April Walsit, agency
Walsit
I'm sorry,
Challenge.
yeah, I can't talk. Say, zero gain campaign, if you guys do that, that'll get you some points. Battle of the business, if you participate in those, you'll get points. My Strength. Does everybody here know what My Strength is? It's an online library of resources to help people manage just about anything that a person can try to manage. If you guys don't have information about that, let me know and I'll get information out to you. It's a great way to get 25 points every year. Suzette?
If you're, like, I've never logged into that thing, but they always send me messages. Are you still getting 25 points because you're a member?
Well, you would have had to log in the first time to get signed up to get those emails.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not really.
I didn't log in this year though, that's what I'm asking.
That's a good question. As of right now, I hate to speak for the team, but I mean, I look at it as you have signed up for it, and we're not tracking the amount of time that you spend on there. We're not tracking how the frequency of it. We're tracking if you're signed up for My Strength. So it's a one-time annual credit for right now, regardless of how frequently we're using it. Defensive driving course, 10 points. Lunch and Learn. This one's big because each one that you watch, you'll get points for. Whether that's being here physically, having your butt in the seat, or right now, as you can see, we're recording this, so we try to put that on the STARS website. Whether you're here or sitting at your desk watching and listening while you work, you're going to get the same amount of points. The important thing to remember about the Lunch and Learns, for everyone that you watch on the website, there's a portion at the bottom of the web page for you to say, hey, I'm Steve, John's my health coach, on this date I watched this Lunch and Learn. We just like to keep track of who's watching them, but you also need to identify it on our monthly sign-in sheet. So, today make sure to identify, what are we naming this, how to fill out your
Take a healthy step.
Take a Healthy Step correctly, Lunch and Learn. Oh, thank you. That's okay, we'll get there in a second. Achieving Goal on Wellness Planner. So over the course of the year, you guys are going to be meeting with Heather and I. We may sit down and identify specific goals. Maybe Heather wants to get a little more activity in during the week. Maybe I want to decrease my calorie intake by X amount by the end of the year. That's great if we have specific goals. But maybe we don't come up with specific goals. Realistically, there are cases where, that may not happen. But we're still getting together over the course of the year to talk about what it takes to be healthy and successful with this program. So achieving a goal on wellness planners is normally an easy way at the end of the year to count on 25 points. Anyone here nominated for any awards?
We're gonna all start nominating each other right now.
Boom.
It's 25 points, man.
It's about working smarter, not harder, and
Well,
that is a perfect example.
I'll do you do me.
Look who's got the sign-in sheet right now,
Okay, so we got a wellness team. Did you want to?
No, you're doing fine. If
Oh.
you're okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We have a wellness committee here in the agency. In this room, I see a couple familiar faces. So anyone who is on the committee gets 15 points. If anyone's interested, make sure to let us know, and we'll try to pull some strings. If we volunteer for any like TRC event or participate in any TRC event, 10 points each time we participate. You just want to identify on this sheet, you give us a little bit of info as to what we're volunteering for, participating in. Blood drives, donating blood or time will get you 10 points. Fitness facility participation, we kind of tweaked the wording of gym membership to kind of allow everybody to be able to get the points maybe a little bit easier, because we don't want to say you have to have a membership somewhere to work out. I mean, I know Steve has a nice set at home. Some people over at MJRC use the little pedal bikes that they got in the dining cafeteria rec area, and we don't want to exclude anyone from racking up as many points as possible. Half marathon, full marathon, triathlon. We have some friends here like Heather who participate in these regularly, and these will get you a decent amount of points. Nicotine free. It's a 25-point annual credit. If we volunteer in the community or any charity events, that's going to get us points. The My Activity Tracker, the next one down. This is the big one. This is what I try to hustle at all of my meetings, because it's a great way to rack up a good amount of points while you're doing yourself a favor by being as active as possible. So what this is a sorry, excuse me. Oh, good. Sorry, guys. Oh, it is? She did. Suzette sabotaging me. Oh,
Oh.
One more time, you're locked out.
Suzette,
I have big muscles, free to.
I wish that was the case. See me lock myself out here, maybe. Also, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, okay. This is.
You have to hit enter now.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
No, you didn't.
No.
Oh.
Surprise! I would be lost without you guys. Okay, so the My Activity Tracker. You do this through the Work Partners website. And what it is you are going to track what you're doing, and you do it by either, if you have a Fitbit, you can sync it up to this website and not have to do anything other than just identify it on this sheet. If you don't have a Fitbit, you can track your physical activity manually. And all that goes into this is to get 25 points for each month, you have to log 6 days of data for an entire month. So you can either say on this date I had this many steps, or you can say on this date I did this activity, and you'll be able to see that it has everything from bicycling to
You better have horseshoes on there.
horseshoes.
Uh-huh.
No, it has home activities, lawn and garden, running, sports, walking.
Other exercise, I'm
activities.
I've been doing all that.
Basically anything that's activity related, you'll find
Get into that.
the closest category for it. So you'll say on this date I was cleaning my house for, and you'll identify, then you just identify the amount of time that you did it for.
Okay, so if you put it there, you also have to.
Yep, you put your 6 days in for whatever month that you're doing, and then you're going to go over to this Take a Healthy Step form and say My Activity Tracker April. It's super. No, you don't have to put all the stinking dates. Nothing like that.
You
Make
can
it
if
as
you want to. If you're an
You can.
overachiever, you can. That's fine.
my advice: make it as easy on yourself as possible, because we're gonna try to get you guys in the habit of sending these in on a monthly basis. We don't want you guys getting carpal tunnel by writing a million things. Now, the important thing is you guys make sure to go back and get yourself credit for December. If you were a member last year, get credit for December, January, February, March, April through 2019. If you guys are new to the program this year, you credit yourself for January, February, March, April. And the reason that we do that is because in previous years we set the deadline for getting in points at November 30th, so everybody who handed in points didn't get an opportunity to get credit for the December activity, so this is us trying to make up for that. Does that make sense?
So are you saying
So when you
for those previous months, we need to go back and just log
Log
6
them.
days?
log them, yep, and then identify on here. And then, like I said, if you have a Fitbit, you can sync it by connecting your device here.
Can you pull that up, because
Yeah.
there's more than just the Fitbit.
Mm-hmm.
There's different,
Yep,
there's like the Garmin.
Yeah.
Garmin, and then I don't know what any of these are.
Yeah, I don't know.
And don't be confused, MyHealth is not Apple. That's not what that means. Somehow you can sync an Apple device. You have to do it through the Work Partners app. For some reason, you can't do it through the web page. They like to keep us on our toes. But yes, these are the approved devices. If you have any of these, I recommend syncing it, and then all you have to do is identify on here. Or if you don't have a Fitbit and have to manually put in 6 days for each month, and then identify on here. My activity tracker December, my activity tracker January, my activity tracker February. Make sense?
Minimal, 6 days a month?
Minimal 6 days a month, but you could do I have people on my caseload that like to track, where they were at for an entire month for their own sake. But a minimum of 6 days per month.
Is that 25 each per day?
25
per month. Okay.
25 points
That's my-
per month.
that's-
Yep.
Because it says each, so I'm asking,
December,
because I'm
yep.
not the only one who didn't know the answer.
No, it's a good question. It's a great question. If anybody at any point has any questions, please, this is your time to, well, I mean, you can call us up at any time, but use this as an opportunity to ask.
Connect
anything.
right to your computer or on their phone, or, because mine is already connected to Fitbit on the phone.
You're right. So what happens for you? You click this connect thing, and it's going to give you an opportunity to put in your Fitbit username, Fitbit password, and then Fitbit just kind of sends everything into here.
It can go more than one place. Your Fitbit data can go to more than one place. You don't have to choose either or.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to have it just on your phone app or just in the computer. You can send it different.
You can.
You can have it
Okay.
multiple
Yeah,
places.
I don't have a Fitbit, so I haven't tinkered around. So that is an interesting factoid. Hopefully, as time goes on, we'll know a little bit more about this than we do right now. But we're still trying to learn our way through it, just like you guys are. Okay, so my activity tracker. That's one of the big ones. Cancer screenings. Cervical, breast, colon. Any of those are going to get us points.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if there's other types of cancer screenings? Would
Any cancer screenings, if you get like a.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like a skin cancer screening or a mouth, whatever.
the dentist,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Cancer.
All right.
PSA.
PSA.
Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you. If vision exam, if we get to the eye doctor, that'll get us points. Flu shot's gonna get us points. Healthcare proxy, veteran credit, organ donor, physical activity club. So, a group of us get together and do our daily walks. Call it a walking club. That's gonna get us 10 points. So I know you guys over at Jackson, you do like a walking club as well. So I'm gonna try to give you guys as many opportunities
I
to get
thought they
points.
didn't get out of work on
What's up?
Anybody wants to?
I said, I thought they were doing it to get out of work.
I get that.
Because we show up and
You
they
can say you
disappear.
guys are in it. We run
Sneaky
it all.
devils.
Yeah, you know.
Financial planning, that's gonna get us points. Basic needs, what this is, do we have a roof over our head, food on our plate, money in our bank account? One of the reasons why we try to focus on this is because we're probably not gonna be worrying about how many steps we have if we're worrying about where our next meal's coming from. So we wanna make sure that we set everybody up for success and can go from there. Incorrect signage on here, but less than 5 unscheduled absences per year. Yeah. Currently, as it is right now, if you have over 5 absences a year, you're getting 25
And
points
if you
for
don't,
it.
you better hurry
Good
and start
for you.
getting them.
Agency Weight Watchers, that's gonna get us points. Annual TRC membership. Now this last one, it's a little confusing because it's called Weekly Family Activity. But if you look, there's no word each afterwards. What this is saying is, on average, are you getting together with the people that mean the most to you and spending time with them? It's important to spend time with family.
Like Sunday pasta dinner, and you count that?
It's family activities, absolutely.
Every Sunday,
Yeah.
do it.
No desserts.
Well, wait a minute. Forget it, I don't need those points.
No, they're not counting. You're getting together with your family and spending time with them. It's important.
Time or is it for the whole year?
But remember,
Whole year.
it's an annual credit. It's not every week. Although with like my family, I probably deserve 25 points. Spending time with them.
But you write it on
So-
your sheet every week.
Not on your sheet. Just like we haven't figured out when. If you want to put it now, if you want to put it at the end of the year, 1 month.
Our
Yeah.
last month.
I'm sorry.
For the family
Yep. So
activity,
remember,
we get together for
anything
Christmas and
that
get
doesn't have the
drunk.
word each after it is a one-time credit.
Where's 25? 50, I'll get 50 for that one.
So yeah. So moving on. Does anybody have any questions about the TRC sponsored activities? This is the important part because you guys have to let us know what you're doing so we can let them know so they can give you points. They're not going to know if you went to this lunch and learn unless we tell them. They're not going to know if you spent time with your family together.
So when you put them into this,
Not this, but yes, we put it into something.
so it shows up.
It will, and I'll show you where that is. I just want to, here, I'll show you where that is. Okay, so at any time over the course of the year, you can get on here and check to see which of the minimum requirements you've completed. You can check to see where you're at in terms of your overall points. You'll be able to check your biometric results, but let's look at the points, for example. You go to, hold on, I'm sorry. So here's your main page. Just go down a little bit. You're looking for incentives with Take a Healthy Step. Click here. So this is a visual representation of the minimum requirements that I have to do to at least stay in the program at STARS 1. Right now, I've done my health questionnaire. I've done my physical. I need to. This is got the biometric screenings. Even though we did them last year, then it's this next upcoming one that's gonna show here. Whenever we complete anything, these things are gonna, fill in color and get a green check. So when we do the biometrics, and I do them, hopefully I do them, this will fill in. Once I get myself to the dentist and sit down with Heather, those will check in as well.
John, so do those get points, or they're just a basic requirement, you don't get any points for them?
These are just the basic requirements, so there's no points attached to these, unfortunately. Now, it looks like an issue has been resolved because for a while this wasn't showing all the points. But this is what we're looking for to get a sense of where we're at with our points. At first, in the beginning of the year, this is going to be in black and white. as you send in points over the course of the year, it's going to fill in like a pie chart in color. And when you get to 500 points, it's going to, like the other thing, fill in color and have a green check mark. Now I can look on here to see the things that I've handed in that have gotten me points. All you got to do is just click on it. So you're going to do view more completed activities. So these are all the things that I've done so far this year that I've given to Heather, and Heather has then handed in.
So your flu shots from last year in October, can we still?
Yep. So appointments, flu shots, that kind of stuff.
18, everyone.
Huh? Oh, the appointments we're accepting from October of last year. Yep. So some things that we've just picked up on. If and when you guys get in here to look at your points, speaker series means lunch and learns. We didn't know that at first. So, like I go to the gym, there's my points. Blood drives for free, enrolled in My Strength. So it'll just give you an idea of all the things that we've sent in. So if you at any point over the course of the year say, hey, I wonder how many points I have, and see that you only have 200 points and you think that you should have 300 points, you can take a look in here, see if anything's missing, and if they are, you can call and yell at Heather and I. Let's do, yes?
So we send you our trackers, and then will you send it into?
Yeah, we work our magic behind the scenes. We send it into work partners.
Okay.
We take all that information that you send to us, compile it into a form, and send it off. So
Okay.
let's say you fill this out today, and no, that's a bad example. Because we send everybody's points in all at the same time at the beginning of the month. So if you send me, like if you fill out one of these sheets 2 weeks into the month and send it to me, those points aren't going to register for a while because we have to send everything in together at once. So
So when do you usually send everything in together? Is there like a
we shoot for the first.
every month?
Yeah. That's why we say, you know, do the best that you can to get it into us hopefully towards the end of the month-ish.
Okay, so you would want April sheet like ASAP?
The way I look at it is, send these things in whenever you
Whatever, and let you guys worry about when you.
Yeah. Just know that we send these in as a big bulk order of points. So if you send it to me 2 weeks in, those points aren't going to register for a little bit.
Okay, but they will eventually.
They will eventually. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's good to just on occasion get in and take a look to see where you're at with your points. And again, I don't even think I mentioned this. Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to know, I gave blood the other day.
Okay.
And was that a TRC sponsored activity also? So I get 10 points for one and 10 points for the other?
That is an excellent question. We're saying that it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. We want to try to make this as easy as everybody as possible, but you know, it would fall under, you know.
No double dipping.
Yeah.
But like, even though they would like us to have more blood drives a year, you can give blood 6 times a year, but I say to the blood league, we have to do more than have blood drives in this program. So we have 3, you can give 6, if you give outside of TRC, you can count that as well though.
Thank you.
I'm in a meeting
Good? Good. I was gonna say something, but I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. Okay.
Somebody just asked a question. Some people both donated blood and volunteered. I would accept credit for both.
Double dipping on
Under
that.
those circumstances.
Yep.
Absolutely. Gotta work the bitch too.
Okay. So So, yeah, this is where you go to see where you're at in terms of the overall points. If you go down even on calls, they're the work partners coaches. The difference between what Heather and I do, we became certified in helping people identify goals and get from point A to point B, where these coaches were specialized, maybe nutritionists, exercise science people, that more of a specific area. And you could double dip then by taking advantage of their coaches and keeping us in the loop, and we can help you stay on track. Or you can not do any of that. It's entirely on you. It's just a matter of getting that magic 500 whatever way you can. A good way to navigate your way through here is there's always going to be a picture, and then right below there's going to be a little indicator of what this is. This one is coaching. If you go down here, down, they have these healthy videos. I don't know if they're pronounced Emmy or E-M-M-I.
They're Emmy,
Emmy.
like the movies, type of thing.
Emmy videos. So you can, if any of these look like they'd be interesting or hit close to home, maybe you can click and learn a little bit. These are interactive. You can't just click it, let it play, and go on with your day. You gotta do stuff. But from what I understand, Heather, you did one.
I've done several, yeah. They're about, they vary. Some are like 20 minutes. The one I'm in now is about 35 minutes. But like I said, when you do your biometrics and your health risk assessment, you'll get assigned whatever is flagged for your health concerns.
So I have a question. When you do watch those on there, do you still want to put them on the tracker?
Excellent question. So here's the difference between the work partners activities and the TRC sponsored stuff. If you do any of these videos or take advantage of their coaches, that stuff will register automatically without you identifying it on the sheet. Feel free to identify it on here, but you don't have to, because they work their magic from their webpage. And we have been informed though that if you watch one of these videos, it could take upwards of 5 business days for it to register on our point counter. Our little trophy friend. So if you watch one of those videos, it's not going to show up here for a couple days. So just take a mental note that you did these and just go back and check on occasion to see when it shows up. So yes, good question, Sandy. TRC sponsored stuff, absolutely identify any of these things that you're doing on these sheets. And again, these aren't the most formal sheets. If you do more things than there's lines for, you can write on the back, you can print off another sheet, it's up to you. It's just a matter of you identifying what you're doing and getting them into Heather and I. The work partner stuff you do not have to put on here, but feel free to if you would want. Now there's also another way of getting points like we were referring to in the beginning of this. Our blood work is potentially going to get us some points too. Our new biometric vendor, I'm sure you all noticed this last year, they didn't do the venipuncture. They didn't send us a Bible-sized packet full of everything under the sun that can be tested. They test 5 things. BMI, glucose. BMI is height and weight thrown into a chart, and it gives you an idea of where you're at in terms of your overall health. Glucose is sugar in our blood. Total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, and blood pressure. So when you get your results back from this next biometrics, and they fall, and any of these ranges fall within what they consider within what work partners considers to be the desirable ranges, you'll get 50 points for each one that is desirable. But there's also another portion to this. If you make, let's say, for me, I have bad genes from mom and dad. Thanks, guys. Like my blood pressure is just terrible. So I'll probably never be in the desirable range for that, but if I can make a 5% improvement from last year, I'll get those 50 points. And the way that you're going to be able to identify whether things are in the desirable range or not is you can look at the card that they filled out for you or sent to you, or you can check on here and your results will show. And kind of like the trophy thing, if it's desirable, it's going to show up, it's going to be highlighted in green, and I think it has a check mark on it. So that'll be a quick glance, a quick and easy way to get our results.
How can we reference last year's result?
So what we got to do here,
It's on there.
so as you can see, mine aren't great, but I know that this last year, my total cholesterol and glucose were okay. Everything else is meh. So,
Yeah, that's good.
How can 116 over 86 be elevated,
The
right?
86.
it's the 86 part.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is actually a pretty good reading for me. This is.
So when is the biometrics gonna because
Donna, can you remember the date of this upcoming?
They're scheduled for the first, we haven't put anything out yet, but we did lock the dates.
The third week of what?
For the first 2 weeks of September.
So,
And you'll have the entire month of August to register. And this year, because we're not racing against time like we were last year, you'll be able to either do it by phone, online. You still have the opportunity to go to an outside lab. Of course, we would like as many people as possible to go to one of the 5 sites at the resource center because we do have to pay for a minimum number of people at each of those sites, and a couple of our sites tend to run low, but we don't want to, eliminate those because we do want to make it as convenient as possible for staff.
here's a pro tip for you guys. When you get on here, back at the front page, go to that incentives and take a healthy step. Go down, down, down. So right here, the biometric screening, it's going to give you this option to schedule. That's not how you schedule. You have to, there's a different way. So disregard this. Prevent any headaches down the road. We'll get information out on on the specifics of scheduling, but that's not the.
And this is the questionnaire that takes about 15, 20 minutes
Yeah.
to.
Good point. So when you do this, you're going to get a score. Good or bad, it doesn't have any, it's not going to affect your ability to be successful with the program. That score is for you. You can retake the test as many times as you want. You don't have to retake the test at all. You just have to take it. Good or bad, just go with it. If your score isn't the most desirable, maybe that's where Heather and I can come into play and help come up with, a game plan on how to, get that up a little bit. But yeah, that's where you find that questionnaire. Wanted to save a little bit of time for questions because I know that's a ton of information for you guys.
John, at one point you said that the biometrics you didn't get points for, but that must have been a mistake, right? Because, when you're looking at the start, if you scroll up and you look at your awards,
Well, just by,
yeah.
for the
The
sake
biometric
of
screening?
doing it, you don't get points.
Okay.
But you can earn, if you happen to have a good blood screening, you can earn up to half of the 500 minimum requirement with the blood work. So again, it kind of levels the playing field, and gives everybody equal opportunity, because like, of achieving the 500 points for the premium reduction or tangible prize. Because if you're not so lucky, when you have bad genes and you have poor blood, regardless, you know, you can get your points in several other ways.
Yep.
It might be easiest just to have that monthly tracker right there on your desk and complete it as you go, so that way it's done, you don't have to worry about what did I do at the beginning of the month. Just kind of as you're doing those activities on the left side of the paper, just have that sheet right available and fill it out as you go.
And I'd save a copy for yourself.
Absolutely.
Just in case there's any, you know, just to cover your butt, in case there's any discrepancies down the road. If Heather, I mean, we're human. If anything, if we make a mistake, you can be like, no, here are my points. Anybody have any questions? Rael.
Yep. On the work partner side, for those, can you go over like the MyHealth selections and the lifestyle health coaching program? What are those?
I would absolutely love to, but I don't know enough about these. Maybe Heather might be able to.
It's on their website.
Does it lay out what it is?
Those are like the videos, and if you work with the coach, like any of these.
Okay.
So as you do those with their coach, if you do decide to do coaching with them, they have like a 30, a 60, and a 90-day follow-up. You get points for each of those follow-ups as well. Our feel goods won't be hurt if you use a health coach from Work Partners. We'll be okay. I don't want anyone to feel bad.
John, the lunch and learns, you have the sign-in sheet, do we still have to put it on a tracker?
Yep. So you'll identify on here as well. Questions?
So when you go to get on the MyHealth Online, you go to that site, or do you go to Work Partners?
So what you do is you go to workpartners.com/access, and that takes you to the sign-in sheet or the login page, and then you end up
Yeah,
here.
that's what you'll need your card for the member ID. You'll need it just to set it up and to register. After that, they'll just use your username and your password to get in.
Okay.
If you don't have your card, we can order one for you. If you don't have your member ID, we do have access to those, but that's it. That's all we got. We don't see anything that, you guys put on that website.
Cool. That's it. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. If you have any questions, just call me.
Yep.
Sure.